Hi, this is Attorney Adul. I'm standing in front of the Phuket Provincial Land Office. This building was built in 1916. Is that? Yeah, it's about 101 years ago only. Why I'm standing here? Because I'm going to talk to you about the right of the land under Thai law. You don't have to write it down. You just rest your 5 fingers and I'll tell you each one. I will start telling you from the lowest one by using this as a memory. The lousiest one of the land title deed called in Thai they call พบท5 but in English I would say it is land maintenance fee form number 5. Okay. In Thai พบท5. This is the deed of land which is the lousiest one because this paper is kind of the receipt from the land office. When you go into any land, empty one, vacant one, and you make use of it, you may pay a fee they call land maintenance fee. It's about 12 baht to 20 baht per plot of right. That's called right land. And the land office will issue the receipt for you, and you hold this one. It's no land boundary at all in this kind of documents. The better one from this one called สค1 and I call it in English as a possession right form 1. This form possession right has at least a map, but the map is very poor map because it just said roughly like in the north of this land boundary you find a banana tree, and in the west you find a coconut tree. The east you will find some mango tree, and the south you find some farm, whatever, and that tells you briefly how the boundary was. The one better than this สค1 or I call possession right deed is called นส3 in Thai, but in English I would say the certification of land exploitation form number 3. This one is a land deed that tell you briefly of the land boundary, but at least some land officer go to the land and make a measurement from one point to the other point by using the tools. It's a tiny string, metal one, and it has a distance from here to here, which 1 dot, and the second dot, and 3 dots, and they will count how many dots the distance from here to there is, and then they will record it on this paper, and that's called นส3 or certification of land exploitation. Okay. The one upper than this one is called นส3 ก in Thai, and in English I would call the certification of land exploitation with the aerial map. ก in Thai representing aerial, which means the air. This one happened during I would say 1969, when United States came to Thailand and asked Thai permission to make a photograph of the land for the whole area. That time U.S. was starting to make the war with the Vietnam. So Thai allowed U.S. to come doing this aerial map. In exchange of this consent, Thai asked the U.S. if we can use your map to do a better land deed, which we did. We used this aerial map made by the U.S. to compare with the นส3 here to make this land exploitation นสสามก okay there's something happened out there so some noisy here I will speak louder that this certification of land exploitation with aerial map will tell you more details of the land boundary because they will use the aerial map to compare with the land boundary that they have made which I said before and the last one which is called นสสี่ง and in English I would call it as a land title deed which we know it is the best one so far in Thailand so the 5 kinds of deeds land deeds under Thai law why I tell you this because they can separate the group into 2 groups here the first one พบท 5 and สค 1 has only the possession right okay and the second group which are นส3นส3กนส4ง or land title deed these 3 group of land deeds has what we call the ownership okay the difference between 2 groups is that the possession law possession right of land when you want to transfer the title you just only hand the documents of this to the buyer you don't have to register anything and you just leave your land and let them go in that's it they get the land but these 3 deeds you have to go to the land office to register the transfer of ownership that's one thing under the law the other thing is called the adverse ownership like by this hostile like when you go into other people's land if you go into another person's land having only possession right you can go in and make use of it for 5 years you got the ownership of that by this kind of land but with this kind of 3 deeds of land you have to take 10 years to take over the land from the other owner okay that's all for the land title deed documents and its right that I want to tell you today why I know all of this because when I started my legal career in 1981 I first take the 2 big family of Thailand land I take care of all their land the first one was a noble gentleman who passed away and left a lot of lands in the south of Bangkok. He had more than 10,000 acres of land, which make me traveling out every day to make a land survey, prepare all the deeds in order. And the other family had most of their land in Bangkok area near Ramanai Road. First time when I saw his land title deeds, he put all the land title deeds on the Samsonite luggage, 10 of them. So I have to start preparing one by one, and it took me almost 3 years to arrange everything in order. From this knowledge of 3 years that I do the land survey, land title deed arrangement, I was lucky enough to have Laguna Hotel, which in Phuket. They have 9 hotels, golf courses, and they hired me as a lawyer some 18 years ago. And I used the knowledge from that land experience in the past to help them in Laguna all area. And this is why I have this knowledge. Okay, that's all for now. Phuket Land Office, 101 year old.